Hey, it's Ethan here at etrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Hollywood Rack Sport Rider SE Hitch Bike Rack, how it fits on our 2019 Honda Pilot. Sport Rider SE is a two-bike platform style bike rack capable of supporting up to 80 pounds, going to hold onto our bike primarily with this frame hook here and two additional straps down at the bottom. So because it does make that frame contact, we don't recommend using this rack with your carbon frame bikes because it could potentially damage them while you're driving. And alternative frame style bikes should work as long as the hooks can make contact. One of the features that this rack does offer is the ability for it to tilt away with the bikes loaded up. So to do that, we'll come down here, undo this pin and this clip, and then we'll undo this just the top lever, pull it down, and then we can come back to our hatch. And it does come very close, so I might actually have to move the bike just a little bit to make sure that it does clear. But once it does, we do have plenty of room. We can come back here, sit down. I could change my shoes if I wanted to. I can get anything out of the back I might need, like helmets, water, sunscreen, anything I might need for my ride. We can close it up, and then we can tilt the rack back up. You'll hear it snap back into place, and we can replace the pin as well as the clip. You might have to lift up on the rack just a little bit to get that pin back in. With it back up, we can work on getting our bike removed. First thing we're going to do is get these straps out. So I'll come around here, just press this release. On the straps, you can see that they do have a nice rubberized molding on the inside to protect your tire. Come to this front strap now and undo that one and pull it through. And then we can grab onto the frame of our bike, pull these hooks up. We'll have to move the top one first, and then we'll move that bottom one, and we get the bike up and off. With the bike off, I'll go ahead and replace these straps now. You can see that they are pretty long straps, and they do actually support a tire width of 5 inches right out of the box, which is a nice feature. Also, we can see that these cradles do adjust with these hand knobs here, and they slide up and down the tray to accommodate a maximum wheelbase of up to 60 inches. If we want to get this center mast out of the way, we'll start by undoing this pin right down here at the bottom. You will have to line it up to make sure that it threads through, and then we can fold it down and replace the pin right back up here at the top. And then we can get a couple of measurements so you get an idea of how it looks on your car. First, we'll start with the measurement from the bumper to the furthest point back on the rack. So to that furthest point, it's going to be about 28.5 inches. So it doesn't stick out too terribly bad for something that can support that much weight. As far as ground clearance goes, from the ground to the furthest point in the back, it's going to be about 19 inches right here, not counting that strap because that'll move around. So it's not too far off the ground considering how high you're going to have to get those heavy bikes. Will be about 22 inches. So I wouldn't worry about bottoming out, and it is pretty low for getting those heavier bikes on there. If we do want to save a little bit of that space, we can fold the rack up towards our car. Again, we'll have to remove this pin and the clip, and we'll have to undo both levers in this case, and then we'll fold it up. You'll hear it click into place, and I'll get that new measurement to figure out how much space we've saved. So from the bumper to the furthest point back now, it's going to be about 13 inches, or actually to the bottom of that anti-rattle handle, closer to 14 if we have it down there in that position. As you can see, it doesn't cover anything on the back. License plate, backup camera fully visible. Taillights are also fully visible as well. The rack has a 2-inch shank that fits into our 2-inch receiver tube. It's held in place by this pin with the lock on the end. Nice, the shank has this collar here, so once we figure out how far we need to get it in, it's just in place and we don't have to worry about measuring that out. Here is that anti-rattle handle that I talked about. Just tighten that up to secure the rack, and it's not going anywhere. So this bike rack is really popular, and it's easy to see why with that 80-pound capacity, that 5-inch tire width, and how small it gets to still be able to support all of that. I will say though, if accessibility is something that's important to you, you might want to check out something like the Hollywood Rack's Destination E or the Yakima on-ramp. Both of those options have a ramp for loading and unloading your bikes. But If you don't need that and you really like what you see here, I think that the Hollywood Rack Sport Rider SE is a great choice and a good fit on our 2019 Honda Pilot.